Hello folks, my name is Casey Visser. I'm the Artistic Director of Billings Studio Theater. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Spotlight on Arts and Culture. This program is made possible by Billings Cultural Partners and Community 7 Television. With me today are two wonderful ladies who are involved in our first show of the year, Waitress, Amy Schendel and Alyssa Melder. We'll get to them in just a minute. First off, season tickets are still on sale for our upcoming 72nd season. They will remain on sale until September 22nd, and we have an amazing season plan, truly with something for everyone. Prices are $150 for 8 admissions, $140 for seniors and our military members, and or $120 for 6 admissions, $110 for seniors and military. Please call our box office at 248-1141 Tuesdays through Fridays to get those season tickets, or go onto our brand new, totally revamped website to order those as well, BillingsStudioTheater.com. Tickets for Waitress are now on sale for everyone, and they are selling fast. So again, please go onto the website, call the box office to get your tickets. Our next show after Waitress is Clue on Stage, directed by yours truly. Tickets go on sale for that on September the 17th for season ticket holders, and a week later on September 24th for everyone. Now, one of the benefits for season ticket holders is not only are they cheaper, but you can reserve your seat a full week ahead of the general public. So I really recommend you take advantage of that. We'll talk more about Clue on a later show, but right now I want to focus on Waitress. We are so excited to be one of the first community theaters in the country to produce this show. We can't wait to bring a bit of Broadway magic to Billings, Montana. So without further ado, let's interview the show's director, Amy, and its leading lady, Alyssa. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I would like to start. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, both personally and artistically.
Okay. Well, I'll call myself a Billings native at this point.
Okay.
I've lived most of my life here,
Good.
and I actually have the honor of working for the Billings Public Schools by day, doing Director of Fine Arts in the school system. So one of the things that I'm really grateful for in this community is that I can, work within the arts and in the community, but also then have many other extracurricular artistic endeavors.
Right, good.
And so sometimes that's performing, sometimes that's directing in this case. And so I've had the honor of directing and music directing this show, which has been certainly a challenge, but also a great pleasure. And
so you wear a lot of hats.
I am wearing a lot of hats in this particular one, but I have a great team of people that's working with me, and I mean that's the honest truth, is that I couldn't be doing this without other people that believed in me first. And so while I get my name, director on there, there's just a lot of people, and of course the cast included. I mean, they're just working so hard and putting on this play together and making this magic happen on stage. So
it's such a sense of collaboration.
Yeah.
I've just been popping in and out of rehearsals, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Alyssa, how about you?
Well, I am a Billings native, truly, and actually I can attest to Amy's Billings native now because I've known you for so long.
Quite a long time.
I'll support you in that. I think you count now. But I grew up here. I grew up doing shows here through several different mediums and companies, so like Missoula Children's Theater, through my high school, and went off to college, decided to come back, worked here for a while, and then I decided to move to New York about 3 years ago. So I've been there following the acting and artistic dreams, and decided to come back when I heard that Amy was directing the show, and some of the creative team, yourself included, were going to be, of course, thank you. We're going to be involved in this project. I was like, gosh, I'd really, really love to be a part of that. And Waitress being, like you said, available for the first time, it's a really great opportunity. I wanted to get in on the ground floor while I still could, if it was an option for me.
Fantastic. Good, thank you. I think for theater folks, Waitress is so well known, right? I think for maybe the general public, they don't know a ton about this show. So, spoiler free, synopsis of the show. We can't give it
Wanna give
away.
it? I'm going to try.
Whoever
Yeah.
wants to
Okay.
go.
Just
Spoiler
stop
free.
me.
Okay. Okay. Just nudge her if she does.
Yeah. So the story centers around a woman named Jenna, a young woman who finds herself in an abusive relationship. Her marriage has turned sour, and she unexpectedly becomes pregnant. And so the story is about her struggle with finding how to navigate through her marriage, and she's got the support of her friends, and there's a pie contest that is coming to the town, and she finds that if she wins it, that prize money could really help her get out of some of the sticky situations that she has found herself in now, of no fault of her own.
Good.
Well done.
Thank you.
Amy, what would you add?
I would add, with the specifics of Jenna, which is who Alyssa plays, and those characters. I mean, really, all of the characters. She's sort of the hub of this wheel of relationships.
I love that. Yeah.
Within the story. Pretty much everybody within the storyline develops some sort of relationship with the character Jenna. But they all have situations of their own that they're dealing with. And I'm going to credit really two people in this, because there's two lines in this show that really stand out to me as the moral of the story, if you will. One of them is in the book itself, in the script. Jenna says early on to her friends, she says, everybody's dealing with something.
Oh, right.
Everybody's dealing with something. And it's just that simple, acknowledgement, I guess, that, through this story and the setup and all of the things, it really boils down to human issues, human struggles, human, adult struggles and challenges, the abusive relationship and the unwanted pregnancy and other things that go along with that. But she's not the only one going through challenges.
Tough stuff, right?
Yes. And so we see that part. And then I also will credit the music composer and lyricist, which actually many people know, Sarah Bareilles.
Right.
And a lot of people that are first introduced to Waitress are introduced through the show through the music. Sarah Bareilles is obviously a modern, popular music composer whom people just adore. And her music is lovely to listen to, but I really think she does a beautiful job in the lyrics. And I think, it's all centered in a pie diner. And so she does this beautiful job with Jenna in her imagination mixing these pies and ingredients and things. And so everything is about building these pies and what she puts into them. And at the end of the show, the entire cast sings "Learning to Love What's on the Inside."
There it is. Yeah.
And we're talking about food, we're talking about pie, but we're not.
We're not, yeah.
But we're not. And for me, it's just these two moments, and one is set really early on in the show, and one is set very, very late in the show. And I always come back to those, saying that, the show has some difficult content in it. It has some real challenging things, and yet lots of humor, lots of levity, lots of beauty, lots of touching moments and things. And anybody that's human can identify with the struggles these characters are going through. Whether you've been a waitress in a pie diner in the middle of America somewhere or not. And so that learning to love what's on the inside, and it just fills me up each and every time too.
Good. It struck me as you were talking, I mean, musical theater kind of always has the reputation of being light and fluffy and frothy. This is not that.
It is not.
But to your point, it is funny,
Yes.
it's heartwarming, it's got everything. Really good.
I think that's part of the challenge, is riding that line. There are some really serious things, and we've had that talk, how do you find the levity in moments? Because even as any human going through struggles, you need moments to smile and laugh and things too. So it's just finding the humanity within it.
Fantastic.
and vulnerability, but being real in those characters.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
heard
love
somebody say you'll both laugh and cry at the same time.
Yeah.
Some of those tears will be sad, some of those tears will be really happy. You'll really get the whole gamut.
Yep.
Right. And we are doing an adult content warning,
Yes.
just, kind of, and you can call the
Yeah.
box office if you want more information.
Yeah.
There's some adult language.
There is language
some
in there.
serious topics.
And there are some
as you
serious
said,
topics.
yeah.
There is abuse. There is
We're not trying to scare anybody away.
adultery.
But, yeah.
there's there are challenging topics, but again, it's nothing that isn't already within our world and our lives.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of deciding,
Sure.
understanding what you're getting into when
Yeah,
you
for
when
sure.
you watch it
And if you have kids, you kind of make that decision
Yes.
for yourself. If you
Yes,
want
of
Yeah.
course.
So, next question: what drew you guys to this project? What made you put in to direct it? What made you decide
Yeah.
to audition for it?
Well, I've always loved the music, and I have seen the show on Broadway, and I love it. I was not necessarily eyeballing something to direct, but I have people in my life who encouraged me and thought that this would be a good one for me to do.
Right.
So in some ways, it was through the support of others that I recognized that ability, and it's terrifying. In many ways, I would say I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out, and I'm figuring it out with a bunch of wonderful, talented, capable people. So we're figuring it out together. And I do love getting to sit back and see the big picture of things. As the music director, I've music directed an awful lot of shows. And I've been in that position where I sit there and I'm the music director and I watch things happen, and once in a while I'm like, ooh, I have an idea.
I
I
think-
have an idea.
Amy's
one
line
night
is
at rehearsal-
actually, her line is actually, can I have an
I
idea?
did.
So she
One
doesn't
night at
step on
rehearsal, I was
toes.
like,
Right.
can I have an idea? Alyssa
Right.
literally said, well, you're the director, so yes. Yes.
Kind of your
That's
job.
what you do.
So I'm really grateful that I guess I jumped at that opportunity,
Good.
if that makes sense. And
Sure.
the timing is good for me where school is and summer, so
Right.
it's just been perfect. So
Good,
I've been
good.
grateful to that.
Alyssa,
Yeah.
how about you? What? I guess you spoke a little bit about it earlier. What drew you to this?
Yeah, well, I mean, like Amy had said, so many people are so in tune with Waitress already, partially because of the music. I've also seen the show. I've gotten the privilege to see the show twice, and each time was so different. And I think that I wanted to be a part of it because it's such an important story to tell. So Amy had talked about, it's all about relationships. We are truly all going through something, and bringing some of those really challenging topics to the stage brings light to what happens in reality. And it's not always pretty, it's not always comfortable. And I think the show Waitress does a really spectacular job of telling some of those harder stories in a very finessed way. It does bring them to light, but I do think that some of those things are a little bit more subdued, so they're more palatable when you're watching them on stage.
Sure.
And we get those breaths of fresh air with the comedy that comes through. But it really is an important story to tell because there are so many different types of stories that are going on. And so to be a part of telling those stories is a really special opportunity. I think, too, the character of Jenna is vocally demanding, and from an actor's standpoint is also very challenging in that regard. And so to be able to take on that challenge and really dig into character development, and Amy and I have had a lot of time to talk about Jenna's character and how she relates to all of these other people, and how do you make those, it's not just a play, I mean, this is somebody's reality. And so
Right.
paying homage to
All of those.
Yeah, just being very delicate and careful with telling those true stories is such a high honor, and it's a really great opportunity in so many different respects.
Good. And from my perspective, watching you guys rehearse, the believability, the honesty is there, right? And check out our website for our the whole cast and crew.
Yeah.
If we start naming people, we're going to forget people.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
But
Yeah.
everybody is
I'd
doing
like to thank.
such an amazing job. Okay, next, two-part question. What scares you the most about this project? And what do you feel is going very well at this point? And
Wanna go
again,
first?
we are recording
Sure.
this August, whatever, 21st. So
21st, yeah.
we open in a few weeks here.
Yeah. I think something that scares me is I really hope that the audience stays through the entire show because the ending is beautiful.
It is.
And as we've talked about so many times, there are tough topics, there are tough stories to tell, but the ending is so gorgeous, and I think it gives so much courage and brings so much light and hope,
yeah.
with the ending. And so even though some folks might be uncomfortable in their seats, I really truly hope that you stay, because in real life you don't get to leave halfway through, you know. You have to see all of your challenges through.
Right.
And it's a really great ending to the story. I think it really is beautiful. So maybe not scares me, but I just hope people stick it through to
Sure.
the end and really stay with us,
Sure.
because the ending is so great. And the other was something I'm so excited for.
What do you feel is going well, very well at this point?
The teamwork.
Teamwork.
I think
Yeah.
Amy and our cast and our crew has created a really collaborative space. We have the opportunity, and this is not the case in other scenarios, but we have the opportunity to try things, to get things wrong in rehearsal. That's why it's called rehearsal and not rehearsal, right? So
I'm going to steal that. That's really good.
but you get to try so many new things, and it's not scary to really go gung-ho on one choice and be like, oh, that didn't work. And I don't think anybody is so
Right.
wrapped up in their pride that, you know, we have to get it right on the first try. So it truly is a play. We are playing, we are discovering
Right.
what works, because what worked for the Broadway cast, what works for regional casts, we don't have some of those same resources
Right.
that they get to have,
Right.
but we get to make it our own, and that's what makes it so special for us and our community. It really is all of us bringing, all of our cast and crew bringing all of our special talents
Right.
to this show and really making it our own. And I think that that does shine through. And, you know, we're still working on it. We're still trying to perfect it, and we're still playing, and we still have flour and sugar going everywhere all over the stage. You know, we're not
Right.
quite refined yet, but we still
And
have
pie
that
baking.
time. Yeah, boy, it gets a little messy sometimes. But I'm just excited to get to show people what we've worked so hard on, and I think those types of things will really come through with our production.
Yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful, and that's what community theater is all about.
Yeah.
Right? This show comes from our community.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Truly.
Yeah, that's great. How about
Yeah.
you, Amy?
For me,
So what are you
The-
worried about, and what's going
the
really
fear
well?
factor, in many ways, like, it's really easy to say everything all the time. I think because my studies and expertise and knowledge have been in music,
Right.
not in the true director side of this. When I study a script, and which I've done a lot of times as an actor, but then you're digging into one character and, you know, really, yes, trying to figure out how that fits in with everybody else, but it's, have I missed something? It's constantly that, and I'm always making discoveries, but eventually there's an audience. And so I guess it's that that concern that the collective we, but that it comes down to me in some ways, am treating the piece with the respect it deserves.
Right.
The characters themselves, I think that's hard, particularly when you have humorous characters. How can they be still believable and honest? You know, we've talked about not letting Jenna become Debbie Downer.
Right.
But at the same time, if you have these more character humorous roles, how can that be a real human too?
But
And
they're
so
going on an arc too, right?
They
They've got
are. They
their
are.
growth
And so it's trying to see all of that, but all at the same time. And it's not something I'm highly experienced at. So it's constantly maybe checking myself and
Sure.
being concerned about that, and maybe staying awake all night thinking about it. Like that. So yeah, I think doing justice to the piece.
Okay.
You know, yeah, and with limited resources.
Right.
I purposely have not. The Broadway one is streamable now, I think, and I purposely stay away from that
Right.
because I don't want to get stuck thinking that's how something has to be. So I'm trying to open myself up to what the actors are bringing and what resources we have and what our set looks like and how that all goes into play. So it's,
but I think it's almost not better, just different, but it's more raw. You really can get to the heart of a piece because you don't have all this extra resources to spend
somebody
on.
mentioned last night that their tables on Broadway can just go under the stage and then back up. I'm like, well, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that'd be great. Entire platforms that can move with the touch of a button.
But like you said, it does almost make it even more special because I think things that are going well, so many things.
Good.
The teamwork of the actors themselves, the interplay and relationships that are being performed by humans out of character, and how they bring that to humans on character, in character. And I mean, I feel truly lucky that we have the people in the roles that they are in. The entire cast, like every night I'm going, yep, this is great, this is great, and it's working and it's beautiful. And so they're making just artistic choices and beautiful choices. And then production team wise, our choreographer,
Oh my goodness,
so Christy Martin is choreographing. Jana Lindy is assistant directing and also designing the set and spending all day building the set and things.
She's amazing.
She is. And Sam Pfeiffer's at home creating fake pies for us. And
May and Seja Foster.
And May and Seja are on board now.
Stage
Olivia.
Managing, and
Olivia's
Olivia's
doing
doing
lighting
lights. My husband, Aaron Schendel, is doing our sound design. And so he's been working on that. So and then the band, we will have our live band. And so things are coming together, but it's really beautiful to watch those things kind of come together like a pie being built. It's like all your ingredients that you mentioned. It's like, we need this and this and this and this. So yeah, it's really humbling.
That's great. That's great. What do you want the audience to take away from this show? And we've already spoken about it, but when they're, and obviously people are going to have their own takeaways, but when they're walking out of BST, what do you want them to walk away with?
I think personally, again, I go back to the line that Jenna says early on where she says, everybody is going through something, or what is your line?
It's everybody's got something they're dealing with.
Everybody's got something they're dealing with. And a little later in the show, Cal, the cook, says, there it is, summed up for your feminine judgment. And I thought, how easy it is for us to not know the whole story, not see the big picture, and to be judgmental about the challenges and things others are going through, but maybe want grace when we're the ones going through them.
Yeah.
And so I think this story continues to remind us that I love that you said you can't get up and leave when there are challenges. So by the same token, that we can't necessarily turn a blind eye to those. We have to be accepting of those. And I think that's really powerful.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'd piggyback off that and just say you're not alone. I mean, again, that's why it's important to tell this story, is because oftentimes the things that we're dealing with in this show, the events in this show, we don't get to know about in other people's personal lives. Those are things that you tend to keep secret,
private,
keep to yourself, and maybe only share with your best friends, which Jenna has her two best friends,
two besties,
that she confides in. But everybody is going through something, and nobody is alone. And as an actor, you get to bring your personal experience to the role that you play. And sometimes you get to be really lucky that, for myself, I'll speak for myself, I haven't experienced everything that my character has experienced. And what a blessing that is for me, but it has to be just as real. And so I've had to dig in a little bit more, and ask more questions of my circles to kind of find out what that truly feels like or might be like, because I also want to honor the role that I've been given and the circumstances that she's been given,
the
and
reality.
and be honest and real, and it's something that so many people around us experience every day
in silence.
In silence,
And my wish for you is to keep digging, keep discovering until closing night. Just because you guys start performing, you can still make those discoveries. Oh man, this is great. Hard-hitting question next. What is your favorite type of pie? So much of this revolves around baking
It does.
and Jenna's specialty pies. What is your? I will go first. Peanut butter and chocolate cream.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
I think anything peanut butter and chocolate I would have to go for.
Sure.
My favorite pie, hands down, my mom's apple pie. It's just, it's not, there's nothing basic about it.
Right.
It's just
Elevated.
magnificent.
Yeah.
And I get it once a year at Thanksgiving usually, and
Excellent.
it's worth the wait.
Good.
It's my favorite.
And mine is kind of similar. My favorite is cranberry cherry pie.
Oh.
My grandmother on my dad's side used to make it for my dad for his birthday and for holidays. And then when she passed, I got the honor, it was bestowed upon me, to make that pie for our holidays. So now I make it usually whenever I can, but a little tart, a little sweet.
Yeah.
And I have an order for eating the pie as well. There's an appropriate order for eating it. I kind of deconstruct it. It's a little embarrassing. Maybe I shouldn't admit this, but the top you get rid of first, and then you eat all the filling, and then the best part is the bottom crust that has soaked in all of the juices and stuff. And so that part you eat from the outside in, because that little tip is really the best bite of the pie, right at the bottom.
And whipped cream or no whipped cream?
No whipped cream, and I don't eat it. If you eat it with ice cream, it's vanilla bean, and it's in a separate bowl
This
to
is
not
serious.
contaminate
Soggy the crust.
soggy the crust.
Serious. That's beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. We're running short on time, but quickly, could you tell us a little about the special fundraiser we're doing for Waitress, or do you want me to do it? Who wants to spill the beans?
Spill the Waitress.
Spill the sugar, the flour.
Spill the sugar
cool.
and the flour.
Well, intermission.
Yes.
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 Okay. I'll go.
Good.
Go for it.
Go.
At intermission for this show, we're doing something that models other shows from the past. We will be selling mini individual pies that you can purchase, and they'll come with a little spoon and a little
Like
gingham
4
topper.
ounce, little 4 ounce
Little
mason
jar
jar.
pies.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
a little mason jar pie.
Kind of a crumble pie will be sold.
Yes.
I think we're looking at $5, so this isn't going to be a huge, moneymaker for us, but it'll be.
Oh, in
fun.
New York, it's 12.
Well.
Yeah,
yes.
I might buy all of them myself if at that price.
So Waitress plays from September 6th through the 22nd, and please don't wait on this show, truly. And this happens a lot where people will come up, I really wish I would have seen that. Well, you got lots of time to see this. And the price, for less than $25, I mean, this is an amazing, I think, value for our community. Anything else? We've got a minute. Anything else?
I just want to say thanks to BST for letting us do this
Oh,
show
man,
and promoting it on stations and over radio, and I think we're all just really excited to share it and be a part of it. So I hope as many people get to come and see it as possible.
Yes, absolutely. Madam Director, anything on your end?
I feel grateful that we have incredible humans as a part of this, and like Alyssa said, I knew her since she was a little tyke.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so this is just a real honor to get to work with her again in this capacity, and both of us all grown up.
Yeah,
All
truly.
grown up.
Yeah.
Me too, all 3 of us are grown up.
Everybody all grown up.
So thank you once again to Billings Cultural Partners, Community 7 TV. I'm Casey. Thank you to Amy and Alyssa, and we'll see you at your community theater. Thanks.